Good evening. Today is April 1st, 2025. It is 5:30 p.m. and we are in the Bosch-Freilich meeting room at Mandan City Hall. Mr. Neubauer, could you please take the roll call, please?
Commissioners Schoberg.
Here.
Heinshan. Braun.
Here.
Rohr.
Here.
Mayor Freilich.
Here. Now, our city assessor, Kim Markley, will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, not the national anthem.
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Kim. Announcements. Bicycle-friendly workshop, May 21st through the 22nd of 2025. Andrew, go ahead.
Mayor Freilich and Commissioners, on behalf of the Bismarck-Mandan MPO, I just wanted to take an opportunity to make members of the public aware that the League of American Bicyclists has graciously offered to host an in-person workshop in Bismarck-Mandan 2 days in May. You mentioned the dates, the 21st and 22nd. This is free to the public, and we are specifically seeking members of the community that are interested in improving the walk and bikeability of the community to participate in said workshop. Details are in the agenda packet. Thank you.
Andrew, it's open to the public, but is it limited?
Mayor Freilich, it is open to the public, and I believe attendance is capped at 50, and there's room for plenty to join.
But they need to register.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Second announcement. Today is Wear Blue Day proclamation. We're wearing blue to prevent child abuse, North Dakota. And Prevent Child Abuse North Dakota is the entire month of April. Item number 3, Child Abuse Prevention Month proclamation. That is done by the city. Announcement number 4, consider proclaiming April 13th through the 19th National Public Safety Telecommunication Week. And we'd like to thank CENTCOM, the 9/11 dispatchers, and the important work they do. Spring Cleanup Week. Shane, could you speak about that?
Good afternoon, Mayor, Commissioners. I'm pleased to announce that the City of Mandan will be conducting its annual Spring Cleanup Week. Spring Cleanup Week is the only time in life where leaving all your problems on the curb actually solves them. From April 21st to April 26, 2025. You can do this. We do this every year to assist residents in disposing of bulky items and certain household materials that are not typically collected during regular garbage pickups. The landfill operations, the date and hours, the landfill will be open on Saturday, April 19th, and from Monday, April 21st through Saturday, April 26th, operating daily from 8 a.m. to 4:45. Accepted items, residents can bring items such as furniture and appliances to the landfill during this period for free. Some of the guidelines on the curbside collection: bulky two-person lift items should be placed on the boulevard curb in front of the residence, not in the alleyway. Items must be set up by 5 a.m. on your regularly scheduled garbage collection day, but no more than 24 hours in advance. If it's still out there the next day, please call Public Works. There is more than one crew and trailer going around though, because we have them separated per what kind of items they're picking up. There's e-waste, beds, other collections. So if you see one truck drive by, don't worry, there's probably another one coming behind him. Just separation, ensure that items for pickup are kept separate from regular household garbage and clearly distinguishable from items not intended for pickup. Appliances such as furniture will be collected, and household appliances. Please ensure appliances are free of food and other contents before disposal. Items not accepted: building materials, doors, carpet, such like that, tires, hazardous waste, grass, leaves, branches, lawn clippings, sod, rocks, dirt, oil, batteries, paint, excessive amounts of cardboard. We like to acknowledge we do have the recycling for the cardboard. So we'll take some, but not your whole Christmas collection of cardboard, please. Just takes up a lot of space. We have a better detailed list on the website as well if there is any specific questions, or you can call down to Public Works. Just some additional service the landfill has open already. We have all our grass collection sites. These accept the residential grass, leaves, gardens, clippings. Just please don't put the plastic bags in there. And we just encourage everyone to take advantage of the opportunity to help declutter the city, your yards, and contribute it to cleanliness and beautification of our community. Do you guys have any questions?
Shane, the items you said you're not going to pick up, they can be delivered to the landfill, except the paint. Do you accept paint out there?
We do not.
Okay, but the building materials you accept?
Yes, correct.
Mayor Shane, with the paint, in the past wasn't to, if you took the lid off the paint and you let it set and it dried and it was no longer liquefied, then you would accept it. Is that correct?
Mayor, Commissioner Rohr, yes, that is correct. If it is dry paint cans, we'll collect them.
Okay, so people won't give it that if they take the lid off and let it sit there until it dries up, then it's okay?
Yep.
Motor
you.
oil, do you have a tank out there for accepting motor oil?
Oh, at the landfill, yes, we do.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Andrew?
Mayor Freilich and Commissioners, on behalf of the city, I just wanted to take the opportunity to announce that applications are being accepted for the 2025 Neighborhood Revitalization Initiative. This is a program that has been around for a couple of years now. We're excited to announce that this year another bank is joining on to the program, Capital Credit Union. This is a program that provides essentially promotional home equity loan rates for Mandan residents at eligible properties to make improvements, with the goal being that it contributes to the continued revitalization and stabilization of Mandan's neighborhoods. For more information, folks can go to cityofmandan.com/neighborhood revitalization. And before I introduce the two folks here from the banks to make some brief remarks, I just wanted to take the opportunity to thank the commission as well as the coworkers that I have in assessing finance, building inspections, and across the board that have assisted in the implementation of this program, as well as the banks themselves. So I'll now turn it over to Chris from Capital Credit Union and Jake from Gate City Bank to make some brief remarks. Thank you. Chris.
Hello, I'm from Capital Credit Union. My name is Chris Nelson. This is the first year we are joining the Mandan to do this neighborhood revitalization. We are very excited, and we hope many applications come in. So,
Thank you.
Good evening, Commissioner Freilich and fellow commissioners. Very excited to be kicking off our third annual partnership with the City of Mandan for the NRI program. Of course, would like to extend a sincere thank you for Andrew and the team at the City of Mandan for working through this with us for the past several years to identify the needs of the community, to really tailor this program to meet the needs of the citizens and really help align with the mission of the city to help revitalize some certain areas of the City of Mandan. We have expanded our boundaries and our parameters and such over these 3 years to really ensure that we are in line with what is most beneficial for the city residents. In general, this is our 22nd year which we are rolling out the NRI program bank-wide, and we have committed $127 million to this project since its inception. So it's something that is very core to our values as part of our philanthropic giving and ensuring that we are helping combat the rising cost and rising rates that citizens are often experiencing right now. So with this, the rate has went down quite a bit since last year. I think the term is 15 years for 4.99% APY. So given the past few years, rates starting in the fours is always a welcome sight. So it's a pleasure to be participating in the program again this year, and I would open up to any questions that you may have. If not, thanks again, and we're excited to kick off 2025.
Any questions? Thank you, and thank you to Gate City and Capital Credit Union. Okay, approval of agenda. Commissioners, you have the agenda in front of you.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
We have motion by Commissioner Schoberg, second by Commissioner Rohr. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Commissioners Braun.
Yes.
Rohr.
Yes.
Schoberg.
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. Approval of the minutes from the March 18th, 2025 regular meeting.
I move to approve the minutes of the March 18th, 2025 regular city commission meeting.
Second.
We have motion by Commissioner Schoberg, second by Commissioner Rohr. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioners Braun.
Yes.
Rohr.
Yes.
Schoberg.
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. The March 25th, 2025 special meeting minutes.
Move to approve. Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Braun, a second by Commissioner Schoberg. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioners Rohr.
Yes.
Schoberg.
Yes.
Braun.
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. Now we'll move on to public hearing. Riley?
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. So this is a public hearing for the Mandan Downtown First Street improvements. This would reconstruct First Street from 6th Avenue to 4th Avenue, including that half street 5th Avenue right there, or the block of 5th Avenue. So this public hearing is just a public hearing. There won't be any motion on the protest tonight. That'll be on the May 6th commission. The protest period has been extended to April 22nd, so I will open it up for public comment, and I'll be here to answer questions.
Okay. Again, if you're here to make comments regarding the project, please approach the podium, state your name and address. And we're going to limit it to 10 minutes, if possible, 15. We've got another meeting right after this, so.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. I am Melanie Lenny. I own Beyond the Blooms, located at 111 4th Avenue Northwest. I do have some concerns regarding the proposed changes to the downtown area of Mandan that will directly affect my business. I am in full support of any infrastructure that needs to be done in Mandan. What I am opposed to is the changes to the parking downtown. Your proposal states that there will be limited changes to parking. Looking at the changes planned, we will go from over 30 parking spots to 15 from Main Street to First Street Northwest. The front of my store will go from 5 parking spots to 2. This change in parking will significantly affect the business access for my store. With the parking as it is, we have limited space. When Rice Bowl is open, there are concerts in the park, or from employees of Main Street businesses parking on 4th Avenue Northwest. This limited parking is going to cause difficulty for my customers who bring family members downtown from the funeral homes to order flowers for their families, for sympathies. Customers getting bouquets during the winter when it's 20 degrees out and 30 below wind chill are not going to want to walk 2-3 blocks carrying those flowers outside. This will cause a large downturn in our walk-in customers during the holidays, Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, etc., when they want to come in, get their product, and leave. As for the planned detour map that I've looked at, this leaves no possible way for any of my supply trucks to get to my store. We have deliveries 3 to 4 times a week. And I don't know how they're going to get to my store. They're not going to park 3 blocks away and carry 15 to 20 boxes of product to my door when they come at 3 o'clock in the morning or even during the day. There's also no access for my delivery vehicle to load deliveries that need to go out through the day. The alley access behind our building is one way coming from the street that will be closed, First Street Northwest. There is no way for our trucks or vehicles to get into the parking lot of Tolman Engineering's building coming from the opposite direction, coming in from Runnings. There's not enough room for them to turn into that parking lot coming from that direction, and there's no way for them to turn around to get out. As a small business owner, we rely on the ability of our customers to get to our store. I already have complaints now that there's not enough parking, especially when events are happening on Main Street, Touch a Truck, Buggies and Blues, Art in the Park. we end up closing because no one can find a place to park to get to our store to get product. I've talked to other businesses, business owner friends of mine in Bismarck, that the 4th Street construction there really affected. Some of them are not even there anymore because they lost enough revenue from just one summer's construction. You want to beautify the downtown with hopes that the community will walk downtown and enjoy it. I'm not sure that people will walk downtown if they have no place to park to do so, which in return will not bring new businesses to our downtown. I love having my business in Mandan. We support our community, we support our schools, but I do feel that sometimes City of Mandan makes it very difficult for us to operate a business in downtown. I don't want to look for a new location. If we have a summer of only foot traffic allowed to my store, I am going to probably have to look for a new location or close my store. Thank you.
Thank you, Melanie.
Good evening. My name is Steve Mott. We're at 102 4th Avenue Northwest, Lords and Ladies Barbershop and Salon here in Mandan. I don't want to repeat a lot of the things that Melanie just mentioned, but she pretty much hit the nail on the head. I've had my shop now in downtown Mandan for 5 years, coming up in June. I've been through multiple instances of construction. When the city decided to turn all the diagonal parking on Main Street into parallel parking, when Dykeshorn Park got completely remodeled and they tore down all the trees, but that's here nor there. The issue with the parking still remains. Over the last 5 years, I've seen during the different holiday events, every variation of traffic being redirected and whatnot, up and down 4th Avenue Northwest. I've heard different things from the community. I get a lot of people in my chair. I've got 5 of us that work in our shop. They're all 5 independently owned businesses that work there. Mr. Mayor, you were able to come in and get a haircut the other day. We welcomed you into the shop. Thank you for coming in. I'm just curious, where did you park?
I parked right in front, and the spoiler on the bottom of my bumper ran square into the
Into the curb, yeah. Yeah. I get it, I do. However, shortly after you leaving, unfortunately, as I mentioned earlier to you privately, I wasn't able to get a chance to speak with you then, but I left shortly afterwards, and I've got a phone full of photos. The parking lot on 4th Avenue Northwest, and I can really only speak on 4th Avenue Northwest because I live there about 80 to 90 hours a week. I've got photos, hundreds of photos, which will show maybe 1 to 2 to 3 parking spots on average in the afternoons and evenings. You've got bars, you've got Black Lines, you've got Dialectic, you've got Dave Berger's insurance company there, you've got the hotel there. Over the years, it doesn't make sense to me to turn everything into parallel parking. My wife is handicapped. She has a handicap placard. There's currently 1 spot for her to park on 4th Avenue Northwest. And that's with all of these different diagonal parkings in place. There's no parking enforcement from the city, from the police department. We haven't had enforcement in years. I think last year, it's almost been almost 2 years now that we haven't had anybody consistently enforcing parking. I've had to call the city police department multiple times because there's been vehicles parked out there that have been there for days at a time, 6, 7, 8 days at a time. And then to even get them to tow the vehicle is a struggle and a half. So they're taking up valuable parking spots for my clients as well. Side note with the parking, it's a barber shop and salon. So I've got ladies that come in all the time that are in the shop for 3 to 4 hours at a time. So if you're going to change all of this around and put parallel parking in, well, I've got no way for my clients to park there. I've got nowhere for them to go to park the vehicle. Runnings has a wonderfully big parking lot, but that's not the city of Mandan's. It's Runnings. They've got their summer gear up already going up right now. So most of their parking lot's already full. I don't see the owners of the Rice Bowl here, but on the same token, they've got a semi that comes in and drops off food as well from U.S. Foods multiple times throughout the course of the week. I know I'm going to butcher Ronald Reagan's saying, but he made a saying something once about the federal government is here to come and help you. think everybody remembers that saying. And just because there's federal funding out there to do something doesn't mean we have to do it. When it comes to the other businesses in town, I love to shop local. I shop local as much as I can. Garrett over at Black Lions, pretty much every Monday I have 2 pies from him, almost every Monday. 2 pizza pies, and the best pies in town in Bismarck as well. I've only seen 1 accident when it comes to the diagonal parking in 5 years, and that was this year. And that was somebody backing out. However, there are no more issues. There's no parking for anybody down there. There really isn't. During the summertime hours, you have Dykeshorn Park. Where are they going to park? You've got folks that are in their 70s and 80s, 90s, that are trying to walk to the park. The park looks beautiful now. During the wintertime, you have as well. I mean, the MPO puts on this wonderful presentation for the whole community, and people from around the state come and visit. They're not going to have parking either. This does not make any sense at all. Just because the federal government is giving us money, or whoever's funding this project, it doesn't make sense to take away 60% of the parking that's out front. I've got room to add additional barbers and stylists to my shop. I don't know that I can add any more barbers or stylists to my shop, because if they depend on walk-in clients or people to walk into my shop, they're not going to be able to park. So I'm not going to get that business. I'm not going to be able to continue to grow my business of having additional barbers and stylists in here in town and promote something that everybody needs a haircut for if you can't find a spot to park. It just doesn't make sense. And I've just been wrapping my head around this and trying to come up with a simple answer, and I don't have any. I just don't. I hope this does not go through, because like Melanie, I might be looking for a new place to move my shop as well. We've got a brand new thrift store that just opened up right next door to me. She's going to be SOL as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Steve. Just to revisit before Josh takes the stand or the podium, the funding is coming from where, Jarek?
The funding would be part of the state's urban grant program, which is it is federal funding that's aimed at revitalizing downtown areas around the state.
Are there any prairie dog funds?
There are about $2 million of prairie dog funds, which would be oil and gas.
Are there any funds from the Department of Water Resources?
Yes, they have 60% cost share in the water portions of the project.
Where do those funds come from?
Oil and gas.
Prairie dog and
State Water Commission funds are both oil and gas.
Okay. And how are they funded? Those buckets of money that they get, how are they funded?
That might be out of my wheelhouse. I might have to defer to Mr. Neubauer.
Mayor Freilich, are you asking about the funds?
They vary from year to year, correct? And they could vary drastically from year to year or session to session, depending on the amount of the price of crude.
Mayor Freilich, you're absolutely correct. The prairie dog funds are not always available. It's not a guarantee coming from the state for what non-oil producing cities and counties receive. Also, the Department of Water Resources and the Resources Trust Fund receive oil and gas tax revenue, so those are not automatics either.
Okay, but they are available right now.
They're available right now.
Okay, thank you. That's Jarek.
Okay.
Josh? Thank you, Steve, again.
I'm Josh Carter. I own the building on the corner of 1st and 4th in Mandan, 408 1st Street Northwest. It's a spine care chiropractic clinic and the Anytime Fitness have been housed down there. And I guess my main concern also is the parking situation. In my opinion, we've been down there almost 20 years on that corner, the fitness center and my clinic, and we need all those parking spots. If we take the majority of those away or a large portion of those away, my business will suffer and so will the fitness center. It's tough enough doing business in downtown Mandan. We really need everybody working with us to encourage that business environment. To me, this makes it much, much harder. Like I said, we've been down there an awful long time. I know the needs on that corner, and we need all those parking spots. So that's my main concern, is going to be how that parking is going to affect, my patient flow and the patrons getting to that gym. With the business has been there for an awful long time, I'm really concerned with losing those spots.
Okay, thank you, Josh.
I'm Brady Zittelman. I'm a business owner of Dental Associates here in Mandan. That's on 3rd Street Northwest. I know it's not part of this original plan, but I can see that's kind of phase 2. And the parallel parking recommendations or plans on the avenues, whether that comes down to 3rd as well, that drastically affects our business as well. I mean, we have anywhere from 70 to 85 people that come in and out of the dental practice a day, and we have all that space for parking right up front. However, not only if this is the second phase, but the first phase and all this parking gets trickled down and further down and taking spots away from other businesses in that area, that's also going to negatively affect us. I mean, anywhere from newborns to people that are over 100 years old come and see us. Those prime spots in front of our office is kind of what makes us run every day. I would be afraid that moving those spots and taking that, people are just going to find somewhere else to go. People from Bismarck already hate the drive to Mandan to come see us, let alone having to park however far away it would be. So I know I'm not trying to jump the gun with my portion of my business, but here to support other fellow business owners as the trickle-down effect occurs.
Okay, we can't do anything about the attitude of the Bismarck people, but thank you, Brady.
My name's Aaron Axfig. I'm a resident over on 6th Avenue Northwest. A bit of a different perspective, I guess, since I walk to these businesses, so parking, not something I thought about. I do hear some valid concerns, but I hope they can be solved and that the project can go forward in some way. I would like to voice my support for the project. I don't live directly on the roads even, but I accept that I am within the beneficial area and that I've been asked to contribute financially to them. I spend a good amount of time pushing a stroller around these roads, and I also appreciate that stormwater does not threaten my basement, also part of the project, I believe. That stroller is pretty hard to push in the hilly neighborhoods to the west of this area. I'm vaguely aware of street improvements that were rejected in that area. I think significantly less outside funds were contributed in that case, so they had way higher costs. Understandable. I hope our neighborhood can be a good example of seizing the opportunity with those outside funds. I really love the improvements, such as the bump outs that were done on Main. I think they significantly improve the feel of the block, the neighborhoods, and the driving experience. I remember I used to drive pretty fast when I was a new resident, 2021, I think, to the neighborhood. On my way home, it was like a highway right through town. Now with those bump outs, it changed the feel. I feel completely comfortable driving 25 there. I'm a big believer in these modern traffic engineering methods. Similarly, as a pedestrian, I can feel the difference. When I cross first, I walked here today even, and crossing those roads, it's a huge expanse of pavement, and the bump outs really change the feel of crossing the street, or they would there, like they do on Main. So maybe a few parking spaces are worth a sacrifice to keep those bump outs in the plan. Anyways, I see this as a huge improvement to the area. I think we should be willing to make the investment, especially when so much outside funding has been brought in to offset the costs.
Okay, thank you, Aaron. How many more do we have to speak? We got Harvey? Okay. 2 more? 3 more. Okay, we'll 2? Okay. Harvey? We'll extend this past 6, but not much more, okay?
Evening, Commissioners. I'm Harvey Schneider.
excuse me. I own the property at 501 First Street Northwest and also the 111 Fourth Avenue Northwest. The property is currently being leased to Toman Engineering and Beyond the Blooms. We submitted a letter of protest on March 19th because of the excess loss of street parking, sidewalk modifications, and the proposed streetscape elements. I'll cut some of this out, but in the project overview on your pamphlet that was handed out, it states, how will the parking be affected? And it says, due to the ADA upgrades, minor parking adjustments are anticipated. Parallel parking will be implemented on 4th Avenue Northwest to match other residential blocks in the commercial area. This isn't really a minor cutback. Looking at the overall parking plan that has been presented for the project, there's approximately 177 existing parking spaces. The proposed modification reduce the number of parking spots to 101, which is over 40% less for the overall project. On First Street Northwest, there's currently approximately 102 parking spaces that would be reduced by 51. That's a 50% reduction. On 4th Avenue, just from Main Street to First, there is currently 37 angle parking spots. For the proposed layout using parallel parking, 16 spaces are shown. This is a reduction of 57%. One question I had is when you're proposing phase 2 and 3, are you planning to put parallel parking on both 2nd and 3rd Street also? You know, this would include in front of City Hall out here and the courthouse and the other business areas to the south. And if you've ever driven past those, I mean, it's full all the time. So with that, will the city be replacing any of the lost parking elsewhere? What we're losing if this goes through the proposal? And, you know, just looking through the ordinance, and it's my understanding that the existing businesses in the downtown fringe district, and correct me if I'm wrong, but that they don't have to provide off-street parking, but according to the ordinance, the city would provide it under section 105-312. So, but in conclusion, if the project goes forward, please reconsider leaving the parking as it is today, diagonal, for the benefit of businesses, owners, and the public. And also, I'm in favor of the infrastructure. I see the importance of that. I have no problem with that. It's just the parking is the big issue. Thank you.
Thank you, Harvey.
My name is Brandon Sharvett. I own Mandan Sporting Goods, 206 4th Avenue Northwest. It's the old Red Owl building. I'm sure everybody remembers that. Crescent Printing. Everybody's hit on the parking, and I'm totally in agree with. I don't agree with the parking the way it's going to happen on 4th Avenue there. My big concern is though that the building that I'm in now was built in 1960, purposely for Red Owl. The plan is that you want to curb my whole parking lot all the way to 2nd Street. I have a problem with that, I guess, just because of the rainfall, potential rainfall. I don't believe that in 1960, when my parking lot was built purposely with no curbs, that when you curb it now, I'm going to have problems as far as water potentially in my building, not shedding off my parking lot. And I understand that's not the city's problem. But the grade of that parking lot was designed back in 1960 purposely for no curbs. So it did shed the water off. So if you guys curb my whole parking lot, I'm gonna have huge water problems, where it's not gonna drain out of the driveway that you guys are proposing. And I can see big problems with that. The other thing I'm gonna point on is, I guess, I can remember, because I've lived here my whole life, back in, don't quote me on the year, but whichever intersection on First Street has the red bricks around it, we tried flower planters. Might have been 20 years ago. Gonna say around 2008, 2005, somewhere around there. But that didn't last very long. People are running into those flower planters. I think it maybe lasted a year or two, and then they never come back out. So as far as the design of what you got going for concrete flower planters, I guess I'm against that too, and I'm against losing the parking too. Of course, I do have a big parking lot. When I bought the building, that whole parking lot to the north is a 90 by 140. But the parallel parking there on 4th Avenue Northwest, I'm going to lose that too, and I'm going to lose parking too. So, thank you.
Thank you, Brandon. Anybody else? Okay. So the flower, Jared, can you or Riley bring the rendering back up?
Absolutely. Let's see if we can get. Is this? I got this pulled up on the screen. Is this what you wanted to see, or should I be looking for another?
We can reference this. So, if you go to the before. Okay, so this is the existing neighborhood, and then you slide to the right. Okay. Are there any chances for modifications?
There would be chances for minor modifications. One I would point out would be up mid-block, just across the street from 5th Avenue. We wouldn't necessarily have to have a bump out across both legs of that intersection. We could reduce that down to one, perhaps. A lot of this is very necessary to meet ADA compliance, make it more walkable, more pedestrian friendly. The angle on the angled parking is being changed so that vehicles backing out don't encroach on both travel lanes when they are backing out. So that's very necessary safety improvement. The bulb outs, one of the kind of the tertiary benefits of the bulb outs is going to be that stop signs are not going to be hidden behind parked vehicles anymore. They will be out where you can see them, and people who are not familiar with the area will be able to know whether or not they need to stop at these intersections. Yeah, there's quite a few non-negotiables because of ADA and safety compliance requirements for federal funding, but also best design practices.
Okay, in the underground infrastructure, fresh water, sewage, stormwater.
Correct.
On a scale of 1 to 10 or a grade of A through F. Where are we at?
I believe it's cast iron water main, so that's an F. Clay tile pipe, I believe that KLJ looked at the crossing locations in there, and the recommendation was for full replacement. Other areas of town were doing the lining on the inside. This was recommended as a full replacement. And then storm sewer, condition-wise, I'm not entirely sure if it's in need of replacement, but I believe that would be more capacity-related improvements there.
How's the access to the storm sewer drains with over the years, the buildup of the road bed?
Poor.
So we're not getting would you say we're getting the proper flow of stormwater through that area as designed, engineered?
For the avenues and where you can see that asphalt buildup, definitely not. You can sometimes see in the intersections where inlets appear to be sunken down 6 inches or so. You know, that's where the water needs to get to, and sometimes when it's just layer on top of layer, that hasn't been kept in mind.
Okay. So there's a lot of good things going on in this neighborhood. The businesses are doing well, but from an infrastructure point of view, we're limping along.
Mayor, yes, I would say that's correct.
Yeah. So the protest period now has been moved to
April 22nd.
Okay, April 22nd.
Yep.
So I encourage everybody to stop in and talk to Riley or Jarek with your concerns and see what we can do. I don't know what to tell you. If we keep protesting out of these projects and we don't fix the infrastructure that's emanating out of old Mandan, that's where it started from. We're going to wake up one morning. Yes, Steve, could you please come to the podium?
Thank you. I don't believe that the issue that we've talked about this evening, the business owners that have showed up here this evening have talked about is infrastructure, is not the underneath the street and fixing what needs to be fixed. Our biggest concerns are the parking.
Yes.
So
we've got to, I know, we've got to somehow separate this. We've got.
Thank you.
So everybody raise your hand who's in favor of infrastructure. Okay, there we go. Raise your hand if you're in favor of a new street with no alterations for parking. There we go. Okay. But given what we have to comply with, there are going to be some alterations. Now, can we minimize those? We're sure going to try. So, yes, Melanie.
Thank you. I just have one thing to say about the bump outs. We drive Mandan a lot as floral delivery. And I can tell you the ones on Main Street, the one on Main Street and 4th Avenue Northwest, is almost impossible to see traffic coming from the east, going west. That should be the safest right-hand turn you can make, and you can't, because if there's cars parked on Main Street, there's that big planter there, I have to sit and watch the stoplight to make sure it has turned red and that hopefully nobody is speeding through that corner. So I do think the bump outs make it harder on some corners. And yes, I will agree, the stop sign next to my building, nobody can see it. But I have seen people run all 4 of those stop signs, and the other 3 are very visible. People who have lived here their entire lives run that stop sign, those 4 stop signs. So I don't know that changing that to bump outs with extra decor is going to change that. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. One second, Brandon. Then we got to get on to the equalization meeting at 7.
So the last time we were at a meeting and Josh was there too and whatnot, it was brought up that the intersection of 4th Avenue Northwest and First Street was had some accidents going on. So I did some research on my own and had a report built here, and you guys can have this if you want it. But the intersection of 4th Avenue Northwest and First Street since 2016 to current 2025, there was 1 accident reported on that intersection. And that came right from the Mandan PD.
Okay.
So
we'll enter it into the record. Thank you. Okay, and with that, we'll close the public meeting portion. We're going to move on. Thank you all for coming, and thank you for your comments. We're going to move on to agenda item G, bids. Consider municipal concrete contract bids. Go.
Mayor and Commissioners, so this is our annual municipal concrete contract. We had an engineer's estimate of $77,000, and then our bids came back a little high at $78,000, with News Construction being the low bidder.
Okay, Commissioners, you've all had a chance to review that contract and who the bidders were. Do you have any questions for Riley?
Riley, is it a fact that local political subdivisions must, by century code, take the low bid? Is that correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, any further questions? If not, I'd entertain a motion to accept.
I
Move to award the municipal concrete project contract to Noose Construction as presented.
I'll second that.
A motion by Commissioner Brown, a second by Commissioner Schoberg. Hearing no further discussion. Roll call, please.
Commissioners Schoberg,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Rohr,
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. Item number 2, consider bids for Water Sewer District 65 Monty Drive. Jarek?
Mayor, Commissioners, on March 18th, we opened bids for the 2025 street reconstruction project at Monty Drive. We received 5 bids, with the apparent low bid coming from Strata Corporation. We had an engineer's estimate of $8.6 million for this project, and the low bid came in at $8.1 million. We are recommending award to Strata Corporation, and I can answer any questions if you have any.
Just, what was their start date, Jarek?
Start date, we don't have a pre-construction meeting lined up yet, so we wouldn't have a for sure set in stone start date, but I'd imagine they'd be going mid-April or May. Yep.
Okay.
May would be a good bet.
And they will have a liaison working with the neighbors, the people in the neighborhood.
Absolutely.
When they'll be blocking their driveway and their, yep.
Mary, absolutely, yes. And we're going to be putting together some communication to get sent out to residents in the area to let them know about the project, update on the project, and to what to expect next.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Looking for a motion, gentlemen.
I move. Go ahead, Greg. Go ahead.
Move to award the construction contract to Strata Corporation for the 2025 street and water reconstruction project.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Brown, a second by Commissioner Schoberg. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Commissioner Braun.
Yes.
Rohr.
Yes.
Schoberg.
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. Item number 3, consider award of the rapid rectangular flashing beacon project. Jarek?
Mayor and Commissioners, this project would include the replacement of the installation of 4 rapid rectangular flashing beacons around town. Those locations would be at 2nd Avenue Northwest and Main Street, 1st Street and 6th Avenue Northeast near Custer Elementary, 46th Street Southeast near Raging Rivers, and 2nd Street and Collins Avenue near St. Joe's. The NDDOT opened bids for this project on March 21st, and we had 2 bidders on the project. The low bid was submitted by Knife River Corporation for just shy of $500,000. It's our recommendation to award the project to Knife River, and I can answer any questions if you have any.
Any questions for Jarek? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion.
I'll move to award the bid for the rapid rectangular flashing beacon project to Knife River as presented.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Schoberg, second by Commissioner Rohr. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
Commissioners Braun.
Yes.
Rohr.
Yes.
Schoberg.
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. Item number 4, consider bids for the water treatment plant Phase 3 optimization project. Jarek?
Mayor and Commissioners, we opened bids for the water treatment plant Phase 3 optimization project on March 27th. This project is split into 3 separate contracts. That would be a general contract, a mechanical contract, and electrical contract. We received several bids in each of those categories. The low general was submitted by Swanberg Construction, the low mechanical was submitted by Central Mechanical, and the low electrical was submitted by Rafter Electric. We had an engineer's estimate of about $11.1 million on this project, and the bid came in at $8.4 million. This is about 25% below our estimate. We are on the April 10th agenda for cost share on this project, and we would recommend award, and I can answer any questions if you have any.
Any questions for Jarek?
Well, Mayor, but it was good to see the award, the bids coming in much below the engineers. That doesn't happen an awful lot, but it's to be appreciated when it does happen.
Absolutely.
And Jarek, it's nice to see that the 3 general contractors, 2 of the 3 are well experienced, and the electrical one's new in town. However, the current contracts that they have are respectable, and according to what I've been able to find out, people are happy with the help me out here.
Rafter.
Rafter Electric, and I'm really happy that all these three companies are based in the Bismarck-Mandan area. So it's a good deal.
I would entertain a motion.
I'll move to approve the award of the project to Swanberg Construction, Central Mechanical and Rafter Electric as presented, contingent on approval from the Department of Environmental Quality and approval of the cost share construction funding application.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Rohr, second by Commissioner Schoberg. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Commissioners Rohr,
Yes.
Schoberg,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. We'll move on to the consent agenda. You've all had an opportunity to go through it. Are there any items that you would like pulled from the consent agenda? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Schoberg, second by Commissioner Rohr. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Roll call.
Commissioners Schoberg,
Yes.
Braun,
Yes.
Rohr,
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. We have no old business, so we'll move on to new business. Consider a driveway with variance request for 1207 First Street Southwest. Riley.
So this was a variance requested by Scott Weiss, but he is not here tonight. He is requesting 72 feet of driveway width, and the allowed amount is 36 feet. He was going to make his case, so I'm not sure what we're...
What was the...
I'll step in here. I did prepare this document. We had basically three suggested motions for today, depending on how the commission felt about the hardship. One was to approve the variance request based on the hardship being justifiable. Number two was deny the request as it is submitted. And then I did include a third option to approve a reduced form of the request contingent on engineering department's approval, something of that nature, where something in between an approval and a denial in this situation. He is asking for 72 feet. We allow 36 feet. I do believe that there's something acceptable that it exists somewhere in between those two distances, but I'll leave it to you or answer any questions you might have.
Mayor Jarek, it says here the house has many garage doors. How many are many?
There are two facing north and there are two facing north and 5 facing west, I believe. And I do have a picture shown up here, which generally shows the request. The building, the aerial is not updated enough to show the building, but there is a substantial building on this property right now.
Okay, so what's your recommendation right now since the owner is not here?
My recommendation is
You want to table this?
We could, and maybe that would be most appropriate. Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
we'll table it, and
Okay.
for the next city commission meeting, is that
Appropriate? Yeah.
okay?
Mayor, you just would need a motion to table it.
Okay.
I'll make a motion that we table this particular topic, being Scott Weiss, the presenter, is not available tonight, and it'd be maybe pertinent to hear his view or his contention on why this should be go through.
Okay.
So I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Rohr, second by Commissioner Schoberg to table this item. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Commissioners Braun,
Yes.
Rohr,
Yes.
Schoberg,
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. Item number 2, consider task order for construction oversight of the rapid rectangular flashing beacon project. Jarek.
Mayor Commissioners, this is the same project that we just discussed in the bid awards. This project has about $287,000 of federal funds attached to it, and our department is not equipped to meet federal requirements for construction oversight, so it's very necessary to outsource this work. We have a task order amendment for with our master service agreement with More Engineering to complete this work for us, and it'd be my recommendation to approve the task order amendment as presented, but I can answer any questions.
Any questions, Jarek?
Mayor Jerry, how would this additional money be paid for?
Mayor, Commissioner, we had sales tax identified as the fund for this, and then a portion of it would also be assessed to a benefiting property on the project.
Okay, thank you.
Any additional questions for Jarek? Hearing none. What are your wishes?
I'll move to accept task order number 4, Amendment 2, with More Engineering for construction engineering services for the 2024 RRFB installations project.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Schoberg, a second by Commissioner Braun. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Roll call.
Commissioners Braun.
Yes.
Rohr.
Yes.
Schoberg.
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. Item number 3, consider a task order amendment to include construction oversight of the 2025 reconstruction project, Monty Drive.
Mayor, Commissioners, this is related to, once again, the Monty Drive bid opening that we had before. We are moving from the design engineering phase of our engineering service agreement into the construction oversight phase. This is an expected process, so we have included this in our kind of financial estimates that we provided during special assessment estimation and stuff. We are recommending the approval of the additional, of the amendment, and I can answer any questions if you have any.
Jarek, this is a question I'm thinking because of the equalization meeting later. We'll probably have more people watching on cable TV as well as some present here as well. Now, I know you've explained this before, but in short order, could you explain what, since we have back-to-back task orders, could you quickly explain what a task order is?
Mayor, Commissioner, a task order I would generally describe as a subset of a master service agreement or an engineering service agreement. So under a master service agreement that you might have with a consultant engineer, they would have many tasks that branch out from that, where the master service agreement kind of establishes rates and establishes some of the legal pieces that would apply to all of the task orders underneath it. And that would maybe be the differentiation, where an engineering service agreement would be a brand new agreement that has all that legal and rate information included in the brand new agreement.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Any further questions? I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve the amendment to task order number 5 as presented.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Braun, second by Commissioner Schoberg to accept. Any further questions? Roll call.
Commissioners Rohr.
Yes.
Schoberg.
Yes.
Braun.
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. Item number 4, consider a 2025 budget amendment for the tree inventory project. Shane.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Commissioners. As a long-standing member of Tree City USA, Mandan has a strong commitment of maintaining and enhancing our urban tree canopy. Our trees provide significant benefits, including increased property value, improving air quality, reducing stormwater runoff, and enhancing the overall aesthetics and livability of our city. However, to effectively manage this valuable resource, we need accurate and up-to-date data. I'm requesting a budget amendment of $60,000 to complete a comprehensive tree inventory for boulevards and city-owned lots. While trees in the public right-of-way are a responsibility of the adjacent homeowners, the city plays a critical role in oversight and management to ensure a healthy and sustainable urban forest. The tree inventory will also allow us to assess the health of our existing trees and identify potential risks, such as Dutch elm disease and emerald ash borer. This data will help us build a proactive removal plan, ensuring we address health concerns, efficiencies, and establish a year-to-year timeline for necessary removals. It will give us a proactive maintenance and strategic for replanting efforts and improve our ability to secure grants as many funding opportunities favor communities with documented urban forest plans. Investing in this initiative will ultimately pay for itself by improving our efficiency in tree management, reducing long-term maintenance costs, and increasing our competitiveness for external funding sources. By taking this step, we not only protect and enhance our current tree canopy, but also ensure Mandan remains a green and vibrant city for future generations. I encourage the Commission to support this budget amendment and help us continue to lead in urban forestry. Do you guys have any questions?
Any questions for Shane?
Mayor, just a quick comment. You know, I've noticed over the years, First Street, for example, had beautiful elm trees on. Now it's almost been deforested in so many areas, but there's also been a good program going on to replace them with trees that are not susceptible to disease, and they're starting to grow now, but we need to go and do a lot more to that to get this, you know, the trees back to how good it looked before this Dutch elm disease and the ash borer disease start to take hold.
Yeah, Commissioner Rohr, Mayor, having this asset of the inventory, knowing what trees possibly have the disease and carry it and the health of all the trees will minimize the timeline between, you know, going through and just removing all these trees. We'll be able to proactively remove them and already have a replanting program. Like you said, we have the Mandan tree planting program with the citizens that allows up to $75, half the price of the tree, up to $75 and up to $300 per year for a citizen. And we'll use the planting tree program with this to make sure we're putting in the correct trees for the city.
And Shane, the last program you mentioned about our Mandan's program, from what I understand, last year that was, and I know you're kind of new here, but last year it was very popular. Is that correct?
Mr. Schulberg.
People really took advantage of that.
Yeah, we have a pretty good engagement with the tree planting program. We're looking to maybe advertise a little bit more and push it out there a little heavier this year.
And the second of all, it may sound like a lot of money in $60,000 to do a tree inventory, but there's a whole lot involved in that. And that $60,000 is not just for 1 year; that spans numerous years into the future, and also makes, you mentioned it, but makes us more desirable to be receiving allied grant monies from people that are currently requiring tree inventories.
Commissioner Schulberg, Mayor, yes, it just gives us a competitiveness to show what the city has when we're applying for these grants. And there's two grants a year that are up to $10,000 apiece that the last 2 years I believe we have missed out on, and cities that had this tree inventory they were approved for the grants. Okay. So it's a big push to I think to get all the cities to do this as well.
Thank you, sir.
Commissioners, what are your wishes?
I'll move to authorize a 2025 budget amendment for $60,000 out of the city sales tax fund to complete a tree inventory.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Schulberg, second by Commissioner Rohr. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Commissioners Schulberg.
Yes.
Braun.
Yes.
Rohr.
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. Item number 5, consider amendment to add construction oversight of the water treatment plant Phase 3 optimization project. Jarek?
Mayor, Commissioners, this is another bid award that we just went through. This would be for the project that would include the replacement of CO2 tanks and other chemical feed equipment and storage equipment. AE2S has been our consultant engineer on that project, and with the bid award, we would move from the design phase into the construction oversight phase, and that's what this amendment would accomplish. I would recommend approving the amendment as presented, and I can answer any questions if you have any.
Any questions for Jarek?
I move to approve amendment number 3 with AE2S for construction oversight as presented, contingent on the approval of the construction cost share funding.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Rohr, second by Commissioner Braun. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Roll call.
Commissioners Braun.
Yes.
Rohr.
Yes.
Schoberg.
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. Item number 6, request for Memorial Highway Improvements Project. West half pre-construction cost share. Jarek?
Mayor, Commissioners, at a previous commission meeting, the commission approved a task order amendment with HDR related to the design of the west half of the project. The item here today would be a request to submit that amendment to the State Water Commission for cost share approval. It's likely eligible for 60% cost share, and we'd recommend approving the request to submit to the State Water Commission, and I can answer any questions if you have any.
Any questions for Jarek? None, I would entertain a motion.
I'll move to approve the request for Memorial Highway Improvements Project, west portion, pre-construction cost share.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Schoberg, a second by Commissioner Rohr. Any further discussion?
Derek, what will possibly be submitted at the August 2025 meeting?
Will possibly be submitted at the August 25th. I think that this would just imply that sometimes we don't have complete control over that process, but I think we would fully expect it to be at that meeting. Maybe I'll let Lath speak here.
Mayor, Commissioner Braun, I believe the amount of the request allows the administration just to approve it without going to a full commission meeting. So I think that's why it's may take it to the August commission meeting.
Super. Thank you.
Any further questions? Roll call, please.
Commissioners Braun.
Yes.
Rohr.
Yes.
Schoberg.
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes.
Mayor, if I may.
Yes.
Just taking this opportunity, Memorial Highway is kind of a topic of conversation right now. 19th Street is closed as of this morning. I drove by there to make sure that it was before I said it was. And I do have pulled up on screen here a visual of the closure. 19th Street and all the businesses along it are still functionally accessible just from either the west or the east. And we are expecting this closure to last approximately 3 weeks, at which time the closure would be moved to 21st Street in a similar kind of fashion. But I just wanted to take the opportunity to get that information out there and to point out that we have Memorial Highway Reconstruction Project updates posted to our website. Carrie's been doing a fantastic job at keeping this up to date, and we have lots of good information here, and I just wanted to bring that up. And we also do have a public information meeting coming up on April 9th from 4 to 7 p.m. at Midway Lanes. We're encouraging people who are interested in the project to come and talk to us and talk to the contractor and the DOT and the consultant engineer, and it's just a good opportunity for everybody to get to know each other. So,
Very good. Thank you, Jarek.
All right, Jerry, for that public information meeting, is that kind of an informal tour? It's segmented rather than individual presentations after a presentation? Because I see it's about 3 hours, so a person could go there and check on certain segments.
Mayor, Commissioner Rohr, yes, it would be more like stations. We would have information related to special assessments right here and be available for conversations. We'd have information on contractor coordination, and people would be able to come and talk to people individually. It'd be more conversational than it would be presentation.
Okay, yeah, good, so the public understands the format. That is,
yeah,
it's rather little informal, but very informative.
Yes, thank you for that clarification.
Thank you, Jarek. Item number 7, legislative updates. Mr. Neubauer.
Mayor Freilich and Commissioners, sound like a broken record, talking about House Bill 1176 again, the property tax cap bill. Did have a hearing in the Senate Appropriations Committee last week, I believe. Several amendments were made and defeated, and at the end of the day, we're still kind of ended up with a 3% caps on property tax, and also you may have an opportunity to bring to the voters an opportunity to go above that 3%. That would be voted on by your citizens, and in turn might be available for 4 years. And if you You could vote, take another vote after that, but again, it would be in 4-year increments. The House Bill 1577 related to wastewater treatment plant funding, there apparently was some discussion, and again, it's in the Senate Appropriations Committee, and we're doing what we can to try and help that process move along. There's been some consternation because it is related to wastewater treatment plant funding, which the state has typically not been involved in, but I think it's been very well demonstrated that there's a great deal of need across the state of North Dakota for assistance with wastewater treatment plants. So we have reached out to a few of our legislators on the Senate side and asked for their support on that bill. So again, broken record, but that's kind of the ones we're tracking very heavily right now.
No questions. Thank you very much.
Yep.
We'll move on to K, resolution and ordinances. Item 1, second consideration of ordinance 1460, a zone change from A, agricultural and MC industrial to A, agricultural for the Heart River Women's Transformational Center addition. Andrew?
Mayor Freilich and Commissioners, I do have a location map on the screen. Well, I guess I do not have a location map on the screen. I thought I did. This is the to-be-constructed Heart River Correction Center. Wanted to take a moment to address the name change that the state has announced for this facility. So the facility up to recently that was known as the Women's Transformational Center has been officially renamed to the Heart River Correction Center. And I believe groundbreaking is to occur very soon. And no changes have been made to the ordinance. It would take the property that has current agricultural and MC industrial zoning designations and have it be put all into the agricultural district. So the recommendation this evening is to approve the second consideration, and I can take any questions that you have.
Any questions for Andrew? Thank you, Andrew. Commissioners?
I'll move to approve second consideration of ordinance 1460.
We have a motion by Commissioner Schoberg, second by Commissioner Braun. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Commissioners Rohr.
Yes.
Schoberg.
Yes.
Braun.
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. Item number 2, consider a resolution establishing rates and charges for water meters. Shane?
Mayor, Commissioners, in January I brought forward the same resolution establishing water meter pricing for new construction in 2025. Due to a recent increase in Morton County sales tax, a small adjustment is now necessary to reflect the updated cost structure. This change ensures the pricing remains accurate and aligned with current costs. The adjustment is minimal and solely attributed to the tax increase. If you guys had any questions,
Any further questions for Shane? Hearing none, thank you, Shane. Commissioners?
I move to approve the resolution establishing rates and charges for water meters for new construction from the Utility Maintenance Department.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Rohr, second by Commissioner Braun. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Commissioners Schoberg.
Yes.
Braun.
Yes.
Rohr.
Yes.
Mayor Freilich.
Yes. There is no other business. Future meeting dates for the Board of City Commissioners. April 8th, 2025, there will be at 5:30 is a special meeting working session of long-range financial planning. April 15th, 2025 at 5:30 p.m. is the regular commission meeting. May 6th, 2025 at 5:30 commission meeting, and May 20th, 2025 at 5:30 commission meeting. Thank you all for attending tonight. And as always, be kind to your neighbor, and it's onward and upward, Mandan.